fam, welcome back. So today we're going to be going over the buy, sells, and dividends for the week of December 1st through December 7th of 2024. So with that being said, let's get it. Okay, so you guys are probably wondering what the purpose of these videos are. You guys are like, oh, what the hell, man? I want that alpha. Give me that alpha. Well, we give you the alpha, guys, but part of the reason why we do these videos is so you guys can know kind of where our mind is at in the markets and what we intend to buy, what we think is likely going to pump or be worthwhile buying. Um, Again, that is not a signal to buy, sell, or trade anything. Just letting you guys know we've been doing this for quite some time, and we've managed to be quite profitable over basically since the inception of this channel. So, anyways, let's get into the content. So we're going to begin with the M1 Finance portfolio. Sorry about that. That's a security measure. It always does that. That's the thing I was telling you guys about before. Okay. So the dividends on M1 Finance. All right. So December 2nd, we got Tesla $335.41. PFLT 4 cents. We're eventually going to get back into that one. ORC here $8.78. Enbridge 2 cents. PDI, a combined total of, it looks like $20.05 and $5.87. TLTW, $2.73. NVDY, 39.11, 146, and 170 respectively, for a total of $415.17. Okay, so for the Robinhood dividends, some of the dividends that we got paid actually got rolled forward to this week from last week, because I don't know if you guys remember or not, but we did have Thanksgiving last week. So yeah, on Thanksgiving, the stock market was closed, which means the options market was also closed. So that probably explains why the dividend payments for last week for the yield max ETFs did not come out until this week. So it's going to be a little bit of extra icing here on the cake. So we got GUI, $28.52, Tesla, $35.49, YMAX, $83.26, OARC, $39.24, YBIT, $139.27, YMAG, $49.05, YMAG again, $66.97, NVIDIA, $303.02, YMAX, $64.76, MRNA, or MRNY, I mean. It's not actually Moderna. It's the yield max version of it. 2224 QDTE 2652. So that total comes out to $858.34. Okay, so in terms of the profits we made, so we sold Algorand. We got out of that one for $673.92 in profit. We also sold Render for $19.91 in profit. Again, it's not a huge profit. I'm going to talk about why we did that in a minute. ETCG, we also sold out of that, so we don't have that anymore. And HSEN, but we're not including HSEN in here because I mean the amount of money that we made is like maybe, I don't know, a couple dollars or something. And it's almost negligible to even mention. But yeah, we're completely out of the trust at this point. We don't want to be FOMOing and chasing into these rallies, so we just decided we're going to be done for this cycle. So 720 on ETCG, and then we took a small loss on AIPI of $233.59. So that total number comes out to 464 or 467.44 here. We sold Algo, Render, AIPI, and ETCG, and actually HSEN as well. However, out of the Algorand and the Render that we sold, which I think is a combined total of roughly about 2,800, maybe 3,000, I'm not sure exactly. We decided to buy into some Balancer, which is a new position that's a native cryptocurrency. So we swapped one cryptocurrency for another, and also bought some more audio as well. And in terms of the buys, we also have CLSK and Coney, which we bought. Okay, so we also have the Webull dividends for ORC here. We still have this position, still waiting for it to go to at least break even to get out, if not in profit. So 39.43 here. And then in terms of the options premiums, Soxel is not moving up as fast as we thought it would, and we're kind of tired of waiting, so we decided to go ahead and put some covered calls on. We were waiting for this one to get up to like 35, but it hasn't moved yet, and I'm sure by the time the end of next week comes around, it's probably going to move up to 35 because that seems to be the case every single time we get a covered call put on a position. All of a sudden, it runs afterwards. I don't know why that is. It just seems to be a recurring theme. So, anyways, Soxel, we opened this covered call yesterday. So it's on the 6th. Closing date's the 13th. That's next week. $38 times 3 contracts on this one. So if we do manage to hit the profit, it's going to be relatively small. It'll be like 60 cents a share or something. So yeah, $180. I mean, it's not bad. $114 in premiums here. So the total number is going to be $1,894.38 for the week. I do want to mention that CLSK got up to a level where we could have sold covered calls on CLSK and made another $1,350 in premiums on the 900 shares we have, but we decided, and that is if we sold for 30 days out, which I'm assuming 30 days from now, the CLSK is going to be at like 25 or $30. Maybe even higher. I would not be surprised. But the same, in my opinion, the same is probably going to be true with the rest of the miners too. And probably 30 days from now, they're going to be much higher than where they are now. But we have other plans for CLSKs. So, and the price is not high enough yet for us to want to throw on some calls. So we decided to wait. Okay, so Algorand and Render. I want to cover this real quick. So the reason why we got out of, and let me actually show you this as well. Okay, so you can see we got out of ETCG and HSEN, so we're purely in cash now. There is the settlement dates. I think it's T+1 now at this point, but whatever day these funds settle, Monday or Tuesday, don't really care which, we're going to move the money out. Probably takes a day to actually move. So even if it is T+1, probably going to take till Tuesday to actually get the funds settled fully in the bank. And then we're going to go ahead and throw that into some native cryptos if they have not popped off yet. So if you think we're just cashing out, we don't intend to make money. No, we do. Okay. So here's the transactions here. You can see it here. Look, the deal with ETCG and HZen is, we didn't know about these trusts at the bear market lows. If we had, we probably would still be holding until the highs and even beyond the highs because there is an asymmetrical bet there. But at the prices that we got in on these, they're pretty low, but they're not an asymmetrical bet. Okay. So for example, I'll show you. So if I go over here to the audio, I'm going to find which one has the actual top here. So you can see this thing's barely moved, right? The all-time high for audio is over $4. The current price is $22. I mean, how much has this thing moved off the lows here? 2x. Okay, that's it. Now, if I go over to something like, say, HSEN, for example, and again, this isn't a bull trend. We're pretty bullish on it, but again, we just don't want to be chasing the rally here. So, but again, HSEN from the lows to where it currently sits is already up like a 12x. So, I mean, it's still a pretty good price in my opinion, but we would rather go with something else that we think has a much higher upside, because this has already moved to 12x, whereas the Audius has only moved to 2x. And again, this is kind of how we think. So this is part of the reason why we show you guys these videos. You may not care, but we're trying to educate you guys on how smart money thinks. Okay, so same thing with ETCG, $3 up to $17. Again, we want to get the biggest bang for our buck. We were only looking for really a 3x on ETCG from here. If we put the money into Audius or Balancer and it has not moved by the time we get the money in there, that 3x could become a 10, 15, 20x, maybe even higher. Again, these crypto bull runs, they only come around once every 4 years. We don't want to waste time here. Okay. We want to make literally as much money as humanly possible. So, because we failed, or I should say we failed to, but we just simply didn't know about these trusts back at the lows. We're just going to have to sit this one out and go with the native crypto space. But regardless, ETCG is already up like a 5x from the lows. So I did want to point that out. All right, so let's get into, already showed you the trusts, and we're going to go ahead and get into the native crypto here. So here's the entire portfolio. Well, not the entire thing, but most of it. We still have some off-chain, so to speak. But yeah, regardless, here it is. So going in here, you can see the Audios transactions. Actually, this isn't even all of them. Let's see, how do I pull all of these up? Okay, I don't know, honestly. Yeah, they seem to have changed the way that this works. Yeah, I don't know. I have to figure this out for the next video. But regardless, we have bought a lot of audio. I think this is actually the entire amount. So we have about $4,000 in this one. We're looking for about a 10 to 15x on this. I'd say we'd be happy with that. So again, the money from Algorand we took out of that and we put that into Audius because Algorand we were only looking for like maybe I think it was a 3x on Algorand or no, a 5x on Algorand and a 3x on Render. But with Balancer and Audius, we're looking for like a 10 to 20x. So you can see the difference there. Okay, so next one here, we're going down to Balancer. Balancer is a brand new position. This is, again, this thing is barely even moved. It's just sitting pretty much right at the bear market lows. You can see the buys here. As a matter of fact, if I go over to Balancer, and we're going to talk about these in the upcoming video, just so y'all know. Yeah, I mean, you can literally see this thing's in a falling wedge. It's about to break out. It's getting above the EMAs. All looks really bullish, right? Indicators look bullish coming off oversold. And again, the lows here, the absolute lows was like $1.60. So it's literally only moved up a 2x from the lows here. I mean, the asymmetrical bet it's the writing's on the wall, right? It goes up to $75 from where we got in. I mean, you're talking like I don't even know what that is. That's like almost a 20x. If it goes beyond that, I mean, it's way more. So I don't think I need to say much more about that. So yeah, regardless, anyways, we'll go over here to Algorand. So let's see here if I can find it. Yeah, so you can see we got out here. So we got out for a total of roughly about $1,900 on this one. I mean, we could have held for longer. And again, alt season has just started. It's not really even kicked off yet. I mean, we're literally in the beginning of phases of alt seasons. So, we didn't really have time to think about this. We're like, do we want a 3x or a 10x? Which is it? Because all seasons don't usually last for a long time. I think they're like maybe 3-4 months at a time, and then that's it. Maybe get some kind of mid-cycle dump, and then another 3 months of all season, and then 3-4 months of all season, and then before you know it, the end of next year comes along, and the crypto bear winter is here, right? 2026. That's kind of what we're thinking. So, yeah. Anyways, you can see we sold up here for about $1,500. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the rest of this. So I'm going to show you guys the Soxhole covered calls right here. Three contracts, total of $114 in premiums yesterday. The buys that we had. So we got CLSK and Coney. I'm going to show you guys that right now. So we took the premiums that we got paid from Soxhole and actually pretty much threw that immediately into Coney. So our average cost now is $20.93. For those of you guys that want to know, the next round of dividend payments coming from YieldMax, Coney is among those. So that's part of the reason why we did that. Plus, Coinbase was going up yesterday, so I suspect it's probably going to keep going up. Okay, so 1.19 shares here on the 3rd, and then 13.74 shares here on the 6th. Okay, so you can see CLSK had a pretty good day or yesterday on Friday. Like I said, y'all, I think the Bitcoin miner is probably going to be going up for the next 2 to 3 months. Okay, into the inauguration and after the inauguration, I suspect these things are probably going to go up and to the right. All right. Okay, so yeah, you can see that I guess we bought more than I thought we did. Okay, so anyways, 25 shares here on the 3rd, 5 shares again on the 4th, another 20 shares on the 4th. So we've been kind of scooping these up pretty aggressively as the price pulls back. We're kind of watching it and to try to gauge maybe when the best times to get these dips are, because again, CLSK is looking pretty bullish right now on the charts. It's probably going to have a breakout this upcoming week, would be my guess. I'm not going to cover that in this video. We'll post it on X, but yeah, it's probably going to both that and Riot are probably going to start moonshotting next week. Okay, so the dividends, you can see the one for GUI here. Okay, next one here, Tesla, and we're also going to post the Tesla chart on X as well, because I think Tesla is getting ready to break all-time highs. It's getting pretty close. I think it's like 380, and the all-time highs at 400 and some. So yeah, I think once it snaps all-time highs, which could be pretty soon, I think Tesla are gonna freaking moonshot, dude. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if Tesla went pretty quickly from $400 to $500 a share. Okay, so anyways, you can see here 35.49 from Tesla. Okay, next one here, let's see. Next one is YMAX. So here's the two different payments. Obviously, because of the timing of it, we got double payments here, so you can see those two. And then OARC, just so you guys know, I do think OARC is going to keep going up, and the ARC Innovation Fund as well, because as the Fed cuts rates, a lot of the exposure that they have in the ARC ETF is unprofitable, low cap, speculative plays, albeit they may be future disruptive stocks and companies, but they need that cheap money in order to, basically expand their businesses and be profitable, which means that the stocks are likely going to go up. Okay, so 39.24 here. Let's see, YBIT. I think we actually did buy some YBIT. I may have forgotten to put that on here too. No, never mind. That was before. So yeah, you can see the YBIT dividends there on the second. Okay, next one down here, YMAG. So here's these two right here. Okay, and NVIDIA, we'll take a look at all the Mag 7 stocks and all that. Basically not all of the Yield Max ETFs underlying stocks, because there's too many of them, but we'll take a look at some of them in a later video. We'll just post the important stuff that we think is relevant on X. That way you guys get like a snapshot view of what you're looking at. Okay, so you can see 30302 here from NVIDIA. See if I can find it. Where is it? These things are kind of confusing to look up because they're not even in alphabetical order. So it gets kind of confusing to look through all these. Okay, so 2224 from MRNY. And just so y'all know, Moderna has been beat down so badly at this point that I think the bottom probably is in for this one. I mean, that thing has really gotten brutalized. Even when I thought the bottom was in, it still wasn't in. And it was ridiculously oversold. I don't think it's going to zero, but I mean, man, talk about a short fest. Okay, so last one here, QDTE 2652. And that wraps it up. Hope you all enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all later. Peace.